Welcome to the Daily Vibecasting.
Today we're doing a deep dive, a really quick scan actually, across 11 key posts trending on X. It's October 10th, 2025.
That's right. We got the sources you sent, and our mission, as always, is to cut through the noise. Fast insights on tech, finance, global policy.
Yep, get you the critical info, sharp and clear.
And we've seen three big themes bubbling up today. First, just the incredible scale needed for what's next in space and AI. We're talking huge.
Really hard to grasp, yeah.
Second, some serious political friction, gridlock, surveillance debates, the usual DC stuff, but maybe turned up a notch.
Seems like it. And finally,
culture war flashpoints. Always simmering, but a few specific things pop today.
okay, let's get into it. Segment 1, the race to scale. It really is about sheer size, isn't it?
It really is. And we start with literal size, like physical scale. At CD Doge, that's Doge Designer, is pushing the excitement here, posting world's most powerful rocket ever made, Flight 11 in 4 days. And there's a link.
Right, that's the Starship hype. Flight 11 set for October 13th down in Starbase, Texas. Booster 15-2, ship 38.
And the power numbers are just wild.
Oh, yeah. 33 Raptor engines, methane-fueled. That's 7,590 metric tons of thrust.
Which, just for context for you, that's 50% more power than the Saturn V, the moon rocket.
Exactly. It's a beast. And they're not just going for orbit anymore.
No, the goalposts are moving.
They really are. They want to show off advanced stuff now, like potentially catching that huge booster with the launch tower arms.
A tower catch, that sounds ambitious.
It's all about rapid reuse. That's the only way NASA hits its moon goals or SpaceX gets to Mars uncrewed by, 2028? Scale and speed.
Okay, so that's physical scale.
Okay.
Now let's talk computational scale for AI dominance. It needs just as much capital, maybe even more.
Absolutely. And this is where we get that echo chamber effect with Elon Musk and Chamath. It points to this thing called the bitter lesson.
Right. Ed Elon Musk posted pretty bluntly, in a technology race, the company that innovates fastest wins. All you need are a billion AI chips, a terawatt of power, and 100 MRO bots. Simple as that, huh?
Yeah, just a small shopping list. And then Chamath jumped right on it, saying, a reminder from Elon about the bitter lesson. This is now all about capital, speed, and scale.
Okay, unpack the bitter lesson for us quickly. Where's that from?
It's from an AI researcher, Rich Sutton, back in 2019. The painful truth is that just throwing massive amounts of compute power and data at a problem scaling up tends to work better long-term than trying to design super specialized, clever algorithms.
So raw power beats elegant code.
In the long run, often yes. Scale trumps cleverness. It's bitter because it feels like ingenuity should win, but physics and economics say otherwise.
And the scale means money. Bug money.
Oh, astronomical. Global AI infrastructure spending already hitting $375 billion this year.
Wow.
And the projections, the big cloud companies, the hyperscalers, they're looking at maybe $1.4 trillion in spending by 2027.
A trillion with a T. Who are the hyperscalers again?
Think Amazon Web Services, Microsoft Azure, Google Cloud. They're really the only ones who can play at that level, deploy capital like that.
So innovation becomes less about a genius coder in a garage and more about who has the deepest pockets.
That seems to be the trend, yeah. It's a consequence of this bitter lesson, which is why you see companies like XAI pushing things like Grok Imagine for video generation or Grok 3's math skills. It's all about demonstrating speed and scaling capacity.
It's a capital expenditure arms race, essentially.
Precisely, which, speaking of capital moving around, leads us nicely into segment 2, financial moves and market adjustments.
Perfect. From trillions in projections to a major partnership actually happening now in crypto over in Asia.
Yeah, this looks like a significant deal. As Simon Ants, the former Binance head, posted, not AI, hashtag being really manashech with the photo.
Not AI. A necessary clarification these days, I guess, with deepfakes and all that.
Probably. Just assuring everyone the photo of the signing ceremony is real. And the deal is real. SoftBank's subsidiary, PayPay, is taking a 40% stake in Binance Japan.
40%. Okay, that's serious. And PayPay is huge in Japan, right?
Massive. Over 70 million users on their digital wallet. So this means those users can potentially buy crypto much more easily, seamlessly.
So it's about mainstream adoption, integrating crypto into established finance.
Exactly. Compliance, user access, boosting Web3 in a key market. It's a big strategic play.
Okay, sticking with market strategy, let's look at the EV space. Tesla's making moves at the lower price points.
Right. Reaching new buyers, potentially. At Sawyer Merritt dropped a review. He posted, here are my first drive impressions of the new $36,990 Tesla Model 3 and $39,990 Model Y Standard. This is a pretty laid-back, casual review. I used FSD Supervised most of the time. And he linked his video.
So new standard range models, around 320 miles of range, is that right?
Yeah, 321 EPA range for both. It's clearly about creating that pricing ladder, getting people into the ecosystem at a lower entry point.
And Merritt liked the drive, the FSD performance.
Yeah. He mentioned smooth FSD supervised use, liked the console space, pretty positive on the basics.
Yeah, there's always a... But when prices drop that much, isn't there? What's the catch?
Well, the big one he noted is no included autopilot or auto steer on these standard trims. That's a core Tesla feature many expect.
Wow, no auto steer. That feels like a major cut. Plus, reduced audio quality, he said.
Yep. It's a definite trade-off. They're betting the lower sticker price brings in enough new buyers who maybe don't care as much or will pay extra for autopilot later.
Feels like a shift. From selling tech superiority to just chasing market share, maybe?
Could be. It's a calculated risk on what entry-level buyers prioritize.
Okay, from market calculations, let's pivot to the political calculations in Washington and beyond. Segment 3, policy, surveillance, and free speech.
And the backdrop here is the ongoing U.S. government shutdown. We're on day 10 now since September 30th.
Right, no spending deal reached.
Yeah.
And that's context for this post reported by @ZeroHedge. Trump will be making permanent cuts due to shutdown.
Yeah, this apparently came out of a cabinet meeting. The warning is about making permanent cuts to federal spending because of the shutdown.
Permanent cuts targeted where?
The reporting indicates it's aimed squarely at programs favored by Democrats' social services, Medicaid expansions, that sort of thing, but notably sparing foreign aid.
So using the shutdown as leverage for longer-term policy changes, basically, highlighting those partisan divides.
Exactly. It's a domestic spending fight using the shutdown mechanism, but there's another fight brewing over government power versus, well, privacy.
The FBI subpoenas for senators' phone records. That caused a stir.
It sure did. We're talking metadata-only call logs, contacts, not the content for 8 Republican senators related to a 2020 election probe, but the reaction was strong.
And Representative Thomas Massie, at Rep. Thomas Massie, had a pretty pointed take on the outrage.
He did. He posted, "It's called the Patriot Act, FISA and CISA. Please vote no next time."
Oof. He's basically saying, you politicians are mad about this, but you voted for the laws that allow it.
That's exactly his point. FISA, the Patriot Act, CISA, these are the legal frameworks that expanded government surveillance powers, especially metadata collection, with a lower legal bar than getting actual content.
So the irony is thick here.
Very. Massie's arguing the outrage should be directed at the laws themselves, which were designed for foreign threats, but are now being used domestically, even against lawmakers. He wants repeal, restore the Fourth Amendment.
Interesting dynamic. Okay, let's pop across the pond. Resistance to EU directives.
Yeah, this is significant. From Ireland. @Mick O'Keefe posted, "See, breaking. The Irish government has informed the EU they will not comply with a demand to force hate speech laws on the public." Hugely significant moment for free speech.
Wow, telling the EU no. What's the background there?
Ireland's justice minister basically said they won't reintroduce hate speech legislation that's already failed multiple times. This is the 4th refusal since 2017, apparently.
And their argument.
They're asserting their existing laws are sufficient, that they already comply with the EU's 2008 framework on racism and xenophobia, so they're drawing a line.
A real pushback on national sovereignty versus EU pressure on speech laws. That's definitely one to watch.
For sure. Okay, let's shift to our next theme. Cultural flashpoints and protests. History, holidays, activism, it's all in the mix.
And starting with a holiday declaration, Columbus Day.
Right. @EricLDow captured the moment, posting, "Breaking! President Trump announces Columbus Day is back. Columbus Day, we're back. We're back, Italians. We're calling it Columbus Day." Entire room applauds. That was the press that broke out in applause.
Okay, so officially reinstating Columbus Day for October 13th and explicitly rejecting the Indigenous Peoples Day designation that started under Biden in 2021.
Correct. The framing emphasized the holiday's long-standing connection to honoring Italian-American heritage federal law since 1937.
And that mention of applause, even if maybe played up a bit, it shows how emotional these debates over history and commemoration are.
Definitely taps into strong feelings. Now, speaking of charged situations, we have claims about organized protests, specifically regarding Antifa.
This came via at Wall Street Apes, summarizing testimony from a journalist named Nick Shirley.
Yeah, Shirley apparently spoke at a White House roundtable on October 8th. His post reads, "Journalist Nick Shirley tells Donald Trump he has personally been on the ground for Antifa protests in America and overseas in the UK. He's seen the exact same protest signs used in America as overseas. He has physically seen the exact same protesters getting off buses in U.S. cities listing Atlanta, D.C., New York.
Okay, so his claim is
Yeah.
that these aren't spontaneous grassroots protests.
That's the core allegation. He claims seeing the same people and identical signs being transported between cities, even showing up in London. He suggests a big organization and corporation is funding and coordinating it all.
Which feeds into a political narrative seeking to label these groups differently, right? Not just protesters, but something more organized, maybe a security threat.
Precisely. It challenges the narrative of purely spontaneous activism. Obviously, these are claims made in a specific political context.
Got it. Okay, woo. That was a lot of heavy stuff. Let's take a quick breather with segment 5, Daily Humor, Tech Edition.
Yes, a moment of shared pain for software folks everywhere.
This comes from @Yuchin, G-U-W, that's Yuchin Jin. Simple post, how to panic senior engineers with one message. And there's a meme attached.
Ah, yes, the meme. It shows a junior engineer saying something like, hey, I think Cursor fixed the bug. Merging now. Cursor being an AI coding assistant.
And that induces panic. Why?
Because, well, the trust just isn't fully there yet with AI fixing complex code automatically. The fear is it introduced subtle new bugs or didn't really understand the problem. Senior engineers get flashbacks to chasing phantom issues.
Right, unvetted AI changes going straight into the main code base.
Yeah.
Nightmare fuel.
Exactly. And Yuchin Jin, who works in AI, added a comment noting that even their advanced nano-banana AI struggles with precision compared to traditional tools. It's good reality check.
AI is powerful for scale, maybe less so for delicate, precise work just yet.
That's the takeaway. Okay, so let's try and wrap this all up. We went from massive rockets to AI, capital wars, shutdowns, surveillance debates, cultural fights. Quite the range today.
It really was. But that theme of scale you mentioned earlier seems to run through a lot of it.
Yeah.
The sheer scale of the SpaceX rocket, the trillion-dollar scale needed for AI.
Right. That drive for massive scale and efficiency in technology is undeniable. It's where the energy and capital are flowing.
But then you contrast that with the human scale of these other issues, the political gridlock that grinds things to a halt, the very personal constitutional debates about surveillance, the deep cultural divides over holidays.
Yeah, the tech world seems obsessed with frictionless scale, making everything bigger, faster, more efficient.
Which leads to maybe a final thought for you, the listener, to chew on.
Go for it.
If achieving that kind of technological dominance requires this relentless trillion-dollar scale, this hyper speed, what happens to the things that don't scale easily? Things like careful deliberation, nuanced policymaking, civil discourse, things that are inherently slow, maybe messy.
Do those essential human processes risk getting drowned out or just sort of scaled out of existence by the sheer velocity of everything else?
Something to mull over.
Definitely food for thought.
And on that note, thanks for joining us for this deep dive into today's feed. We'll catch you next time.